have some champions in the house? Guys, can we agree this has been the best convention ever? So, I want to begin by giving a huge thank you to the Home Office. Because without the Home Office, we will not be able to do what we do every single day. Most especially to our leader, our president, Todd Buchanan, Susan Davis, for what they do every single day for us to be successful. We want to say thank you. Now, today, and this convention, it marks a special day in my life. It marks my 7th year of being in WFG. And in 7 years, I have led an incredible team. Do we have Team Legacy Star in the house? So, your story is a story that is only possible in the United States of America. It's a story that's only possible in WFG. Now, I'm going to highlight something. And it's going to be the big M. In 4 years, people that joined WFG from no background of finances, this opportunity called World Financial Group, they came from healthcare background, they came from IT, and in just 4 years of joining, we now have 8 people, 8 agents in our hierarchy that are making over $1 million a year. That's the story. That record is a record you can't find anywhere, not in Africa, not in Europe, not in Asia. It's a story that's only possible here in WFG. Now, all of this success will not have been possible without the power of one person. But before I talk about that one person, your evidence, Team Legacy Star, last night, your presence on stage, and we heard from some of the leaders, it is testament of your hard work and all the families who've been helping together. All of this success would not have been possible without the help of the rock of my life, the bone of my bone, the rock star, and the pillar of WFG, my wife, in the person of Linda Fombo. My name is Daniel Fombo, and I immigrated to the United States from Cameroon 23 years ago. My prior career was in nursing. So I was a nurse for 10 years, and I was a family nurse practitioner for 3 years. In these 2 roles, I worked 3 jobs to make ends meet. I was trying to get ahead financially, and things were tough. We were happy being nurses. We thought we were at the top, but we're not satisfied. But when the WFG opportunity found us, we knew from day one that's the opportunity we'll be looking for. I want to ask all of you in here, do you want to be a champion? All right. If you are in WFG and this is your first 2 years, I'm going to tell you what it means to be a champion. So it's Thursday morning. After checking my calendar for my appointment on Thursday, I called off work as a nurse practitioner, get into my car, and I drove all the way to New Jersey. At that time, I was living in Connecticut. It was a 3-hour drive. I was going to go present to a couple, it's a medical doctor, in the suburbs of New Jersey. So I sat down with them, and I presented to them what we do for families. The protection we give, the accumulation, the transfer of wealth. That appointment took me 3 hours. And after 3 hours of doing what I thought I did best, you know what they told me, that couple? They said, thank you so much for the information. We are not interested. So I got back into my car. Prior to getting to my car, I'm looking at my windshield. I see a parking violation. I have parked my car in the wrong place. So, you know how I'm feeling right now, right? So, I put it up, got into my car, and started driving back home to Connecticut. 1 hour into driving, I had a police officer pull me over. And they gave me a speeding ticket. And then, 30 minutes later, I had a flat tire. I had the car towed for repairs, and then I finally made it home way much later into the night. And then when I got home, I'm looking at my phone, I got a text message. It was a family that I had submitted a policy form. They were pending blood work for approval. You know what the text message read?
Decline.
It said, Daniel, we are no longer interested. Please cancel, we're not going to do any more blood work. And then, Friday morning, I'm waiting for pay cycle to hit. I got a $5,000 charge back. That didn't happen 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, it happened 19 times. So I want to prepare your mind, because everybody sees the glory, but nobody knows the story. So I want to ask you one more time before I proceed. Do you want to be a champion? All right, so let me continue. So what do you think I was going to do at this point in time? But there are 2 mindsets at that point in time. Let me tell you about the mindset of those who are going to lose. The mindset is called a fixed mindset. It's for those who don't want to learn. Here is what people that experience this adversity, and I promise you it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to you, so I want to prepare your mind for what is coming. Those who have a fixed mindset, here's the thought process. Here's how they're going to feel. Here's what they will think. WG business is not for me. I don't think I can win here. I'm a loser. Nothing good happens to me. I think the man upstairs is trying to communicate with me in a way that is anonymous. I think it's my forefathers, my uncles, my auntie, who are responsible, because nothing good seems to happen to me. So then, what do? You quit. That's called a fixed mindset. That's called the mindset for people who don't want to win. Now, let me tell you about the mindset for champions. It's called a growth mindset. It's called a learning mindset. Because if you are going to win in WFG, you must tell yourself, I want to win. Every single success must first of all be won mentally. It is true for everything. It is called the subconscious mind. Everything you tell yourself, for it to happen, you must first believe it mentally. It is true for soccer. It's true for sports. If you're going to win a match, mentally you must first win that match. It is true for a war. If you're going to win a war, mentally you must first win the war. It is true for any examination, any test you write. If you're going to be successful at any examination, you must first pass the examination mentally. Because our subconscious mind is very, very powerful. It is the mind that controls everything we do. We all have it. It's empty. And then you fill it with information. Remember the mindset that says, I don't like to eat fish. I don't like onion because of the smell. That's what you're telling yourself. Then you start believing it. So if you want to have the mindset to win, you have to tell yourself today, I want to be a winner. That's the first success. Believe it and then get to work. So I'm going to tell you about the mindset of winners, champions, the growth mindset. So what would a person with a growth mindset think about the same scenario? I think my client was having a bad day. I think my client, I didn't do much of a good job. I have to go back and practice. I didn't answer the question they were asking me the correct way. Let me go back and prepare some more. You go back home and say, you know what, let me call my mentor and ask them and tell them how the presentation went so I can get corrections. It's called improving mindset. It's called a growing mindset because whatever thing you tell yourself is what you shall become. And then go back and repeat the process. So, if you are here during your first 2 years, I want you to get ready. If you tell me you want to be a champion, that's what's going to happen to you. That's what it takes to walk up this stage. You saw what happened last night. You saw the champion walk up this stage. You've seen some of them speak today. That's what it takes to walk up this stage. It's called, you're going to have adversity, you're going to have challenges, but you shall overcome if you stay here long enough. So I'm going to ask you for the last time, do you want to be a champion? Yeah. All right, I'm going to share with you the formula. So you are in a classroom. I want to learn a new language. And that language is called Swahili. Swahili is a language spoken in Kenya, Tanzania, Swahili, Burundi, Uganda, and many others. You want to learn a new language, right? And then you are in a classroom in America. And you've gone over a couple of series. And then the instructor comes one day and they call you up to the front of the classroom. They start asking you questions. You don't know the answer. But you feel so humiliated because your classmates are watching at you. You can see that you're not doing it well. You feel so ashamed. You look at the teacher's face, he's furious because you're not performing to standard. And then you go back to your seat. When you get back home on that day, what will you do? Are you going to study more or are you going to drop the class? That's exactly what you're going to do in WFG. As you proceed, I want to be a champion. When things get tough, you are going to call a mentor, call the person ahead of you, call your leader, and tell them about your challenges. Because this opportunity is going to work for every single person that wants it to work for them. But I want you to know that the first 2 years are the most challenging years. So from this day onward, we're going to adopt a new phrase. You know how in America, when somebody asks you, how are you doing? What's the default statement? I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good, right? I'm doing okay. We're going to change it. And we're going to repeat this phrase until when we come back next year, because every single person that is here today, we want to see you back next year. So here's the phrase we're going to adopt. So I'm going to ask it 3 times. If I ask, how are you doing? Here's the response. I'm working so hard to build my business. You guys hear me? I'm going to ask you, how are you doing? You're going to respond, I'm working so hard to build my business. I'm going to ask that question 3 times. All right, guys, ready? All right, let's have you on your feet. Let's have you on your feet as we round up for today. So, the 3rd time is going to be the loudest of all. All right, you guys, are you ready?